He was frightening at the time because he was a little shaky.
On Sky News Breakfast this morning, a small earthquake has been recorded in South Wales about 8 miles north of the Rhondda Valley just before midnight. King Charles was lined up by number 10 to meet EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen as highly contentious negotiations over an earthquake measuring 3.8 has struck in South Wales, with people across the region telling of houses shaking and it feeling like an explosion as they were awoken in bed. A 3.8 magnitude earthquake hit South Wales, with alarmed residents telling of waking up in bed with whole house shaking and it feeling like an explosion. The earthquake hit several miles north of Rhondda at midnight on Friday at a depth of just over 1 mile, reported the British Geological Survey. Many people immediately reported feeling the effects of the quake, and from as far away as Wolverhampton in the West Midlands, a person in Merthyr Tydfil wrote, "Whole house shook," and another in Hirwaun made the same comment, with both only a few miles from the epicenter. "We've had many earthquake tremors before in Wales, but that tremor shook my house to the core in Ebbw Vale," said a Twitter user, while in the town of Mountain Ash a person wrote, "Thought something had fallen upstairs. Then my son came down to say his bed shook, waking him." One report from Hirwaun, 25 kilometers from the epicenter, described their house shaking and it feeling like an explosion. Clark Jamie Scriven in Merthyr Tydfil wrote on Facebook, "A lot of questions online about the recent disturbance." He added, "Based on the preliminary seismic data, the quake was probably felt by many people in the area of the epicenter. It should not have caused significant damage, other than objects falling from shelves, broken windows, etc. In Merthyr Tydfil, Pop. 43,800 located 5 kilometers from the epicenter, and Aberdari, Pop. 31,106 kilometers away. The quake should have been felt as light shaking. According to BGs, a magnitude 4 earthquake happens in Britain roughly every 2 years, while we experience a magnitude 5 earthquake roughly every 10 to 20 years. According to the British Geological Survey BGs, between 20 to 30 earthquakes are felt by people each year, and a few hundred smaller ones are only recorded by sensitive instruments. Most of these are very small and cause no damage. However, some British earthquakes have caused considerable damage, although nothing like the devastation caused by large earthquakes in other parts of the world. Bethany Jones said, "I was within range of the earthquake and was doing what any other woman my age does, playing Sonic Frontiers as I wait for Limbus Company to release in a few days. #Limbus sweep. I'm sure it's gonna be Game of the Year 2023. When suddenly my house started shaking a little bit too much for a little bit too long, and by that I mean a moderate amount for a few seconds. I felt my room shake. It was scary. And in my tired state, I thought the final boss from Sonic Frontiers had manifested in the real world. However, common sense then hit me and I realized it was just an earthquake. Although given that this is Wales, and we don't tend to have earthquakes, a video game boss becoming real seemed more likely. Ultimately, though, I am alright, and it just gave me a little fright. I think the biggest casualty was my Sonic post. Her getting knocked off the wall, but it's alright. The poster has returned to its special place above my bed for me to be able to look at Sonic 24/7. Thank you for listening to my experience."
Made me stop and shake a little bit.
It was 11:58 p.m. on Friday, February 24th. Some people were just preparing to go to bed, others were already fast asleep. Moments later, all were literally shaken out of their midnight activities when the magnitude 4.2 earthquake struck somewhere near Merthyr Tydfil, about 7 miles from Abertillery. For some, it was like a bomb going off, with reports of a loud sonic boom that set whole houses shaking. However, others didn't feel or hear thing. Some spoke of their fears, especially after the horrific events in Turkey and Syria. Others shared comical moments like a parrot falling from its perch in Fakre. Fortunately, it seems the only tsunami the earthquake triggered was a wave of queries and comments on social media. On social media, people have reported furniture moving and houses and homes shaking and creaking. Others reported being woken by the rumbles. Kath Cartwright in Newbridge said on Facebook, "The bedroom wall was shaking. I had the light on so saw it plain as day. The whole house shook. A scary moment."